SKT T1 is undeniably the most successful team in League of Legends history, boasting a record 10 LCK championships, 5 World Championship titles, 2 MSI trophies, and even an Esports World Cup victory in 2024. That being said, even a dynasty as decorated as T1 has had its ups and downs. Not every roster in the organization's history has reached those heights. Welcome to Silver Scrapes, and in today's video, we'll be ranking every SKT T1 roster from worst to best.
Number 7, 2018 SKT. Without question, the worst roster SKT has ever fielded was their 2018 lineup, consisting of the worst topside in the organization's history. Swapping between Tal and Untaro for top lane and Blank and Blossom for jungle, SKT just couldn't find any success that year regardless of the players they started. Even with veterans Faker, Bang, and Wolf, SKT managed a measly 9-9 record in spring and finished 4th in both the regular season as well as LCK playoffs. During the summer split, they performed even worse, going 8-10, which put them at number 7 in the standings, meaning they would miss the LCK playoffs for the first time in the organization's history. 2018 SKT was also plagued with roster instability, as Leo and Effort were brought in to replace Bang and Wolf. Even Faker himself was substituted for Parayan of all players. SKT only made playoffs once and didn't even come close to qualifying for Worlds. Definitely a rough year to be an SKT fan. Next up on our list at number 6 is T1's 2020 roster consisting of Kana, Cuz, Faker, Teddy, and Effort. To give them credit, this roster did win LCK Spring 2020, but it was all downhill from there. In the summer split, they ended 4th, which isn't terrible, but they lost in the first round of summer playoffs to Afrika Freaks, ending 5th place. Even though they had the longest time out of any team to prepare for the regional finals, they failed at the last hurdle against Gen G, missing out on Worlds 2020. Number 5, 2019 SKT. It's hard to call SKT's 2019 roster a bad team because they really weren't. Rebuilding their entire roster around Faker, SKT signed Khan, Klid, Teddy, and Mata to their starting lineup. After the disaster that was 2018, this roster proved much more capable, finishing 2nd in the regular season and winning the LCK playoffs in spring. At MSI, SKT made it to the semifinals, where they would lose to the best Western team of all time, G2 Esports. Although they slumped a little bit in summer, finishing 4th in the regular season, they showed up when it mattered and secured their 2nd LCK title of that year. At Worlds, SKT would once again be bested by G2 Esports, losing to them 3-1 in the semifinals. Even though this roster won 2 LCK titles, their relative lackluster international performance lands them as the 5th best T1 roster. Number 4, 2017 SKT. During the 2017 offseason, SKT signed legendary top laner Huni, who made a name for himself in Europe and North America, as well as Rox Tigers jungler Peanut, to their starting lineup. Huni and Peanut meshed perfectly with Faker, Bang, and Wolf. As their first split together, they went 16-2 to secure 1st place in the regular season, as well as clean sweeping the LCK finals. At MSI, T1 dominated the competition, only dropping 3 games in total on their way to 1st place. During summer, some cracks began to show as SKT only managed a 4th place finish. During the summer playoffs, SKT was bested by the newly revived Longsu Gaming. At Worlds, however, SKT continued to perform extremely well, even climbing back from a 10,000 gold deficit versus EDG. SKT then defeated Misfits and Royal Never Give Up to make it to their 4th ever World Championship finals. Unfortunately, 2017 proved to be the first year SKT lost in the finals.
In 3rd place, we have SKT T1's original 5-man roster, who played together from seasons 3 to 4.
Consisting of Impact, Bengi, Faker, Piglet, and Pumandu, this roster proved to be almost unstoppable during their era. The SKT hype train officially left the station during Season 3 when this roster of relatively unknown players placed 3rd in Champions Spring in their debut split. Faker especially was dominant on picks like Nidalee and Ahri. SKT surged to life during Champions Summer, taking 1st place by defeating KT Roaster Bullets. They defeated them again during the regional finals to qualify for Season 3 Worlds. At Worlds, they would surprise everyone by gapping their competition. Their closest series was against Najin Black Sword, who had veteran players and were the favorites to win Worlds. Even after winning the World Championship in their first competitive season, SKT one-upped themselves when they had a completely flawless Champions 2014 winner. They also won All-Star Paris 2014 without dropping a single game, the precursor to the mid-season Invitational. Unfortunately for SKT, they couldn't repeat their dominant performance 2 years in a row, as they failed to qualify for Worlds 2014 after losing to Samsung White and then Najin White Shield. From mid-2013 to early 2014, this original SKT T1 lineup was uncontested both domestically and internationally.
In second place, we have T1's legendary 5-man roster, consisting of Zeus, Owner, Faker, Gumayusi, and Kiria. This roster showcased that their potential is near limitless. Considering this roster was Faker and 4 rookies, it's impressive to see how far they've come in such a short time.
Even at Worlds 2021, they only lost to Damwon Kia in the semifinals, while pushing them all the way to 5 games. T1 also achieved unprecedented dominance in Spring 2022, as they had a never-before-seen 18-0 undefeated regular split season in the LCK.
T1 carried that momentum into Worlds 2022, where they reached the finals on home soil in Seoul. Although they narrowly fell to DRX in one of the greatest upsets in Worlds history, this roster proved that their ceiling was championship caliber. Instead of collapsing after the heartbreak, they used it as fuel. In 2023, T1 returned with a vengeance, storming through the bracket to win the World Championship in dominant fashion, giving Faker his long-awaited 4th title and cementing Zeus as a world-class top laner. Their resilience became the defining trait of this lineup. No setback could keep them down for long. In 2024, they made history once again by defending their crown, winning back-to-back world championships, a feat that had not been accomplished since SKT's own golden age in 2015 to 2016. This roster transformed from the kids around Faker into a dynasty of their own. Over just 3 years, they went from promising rookies to one of the most successful squads in League of Legends history, rightfully claiming their spot as the 2nd greatest T1 roster of all time.
Let's be honest, we all knew this roster was the best SKT T1 lineup in history, perhaps even the single most dominant team in League of Legends ever. We're talking about SKT's 2015-2016 roster, consisting of top laners Marin and Duke, junglers Bengi and Blank, Faker in the mid lane, and Bang and Wolf in the bot lane. After Korean organizations were unable to field 2 rosters, SKT T1S and T1K combined into one powerhouse. They started off the split strong, finishing 2nd in the regular season, but sweeping the GE Tigers 3-0 in 2015 spring. At MSI, they unfortunately fell to China's EDG in a crucial Game 5. But SKT wasn't done. They came back swinging even harder in summer, almost completing a perfect split by going 17-1. In the summer playoffs, they once again swept their opponents to qualify for Worlds. In Worlds 2015, SKT didn't drop a single game on their way to the finals, destroying both AHQ Esports and Origin. In the finals against their fellow Koreans, SKT was 1 game away from winning Worlds without dropping a single game. But they did lose Game 3 of the Grand Finals and won Worlds with only 1 game dropped. Marin in particular was a cut above his competition, even rivaling Faker for his carry potential. Winning Worlds once wasn't enough for SKT, however, and even though they lost their star top laner Marin to LGD, they signed Duke and substitute jungler Blank and continued to dominate the pro scene. SKT won the IEM Season 10 World Championship without dropping a single game, cementing themselves as the best international team at the time. Even though they weren't as dominant in 2016 spring as they had been in 2015, they still won the spring playoffs to head to MSI. This time, however, they would win it all, becoming the first team in history to win 3 international competitions in a row. Heading into LCK summer, expectations were through the roof. Unfortunately, SKT couldn't win 4 LCK championships in a row as they dropped to KT Rolster. But no one remembers SKT as the team that won 3 LCK titles in a row. Instead, they remember them for being the first team to win Worlds 2 years in a row, a feat that has still gone unbeaten.
And now, in 2025, T1 entered a brand new chapter with Doran, Owner, Faker, Gumayusi, and Kiria. On paper, this team already looks terrifying. With back-to-back Worlds already behind them, the only question left is, how far can this 5-man roster go? Could they be the first team in League of Legends history to win 3 straight World Championships, and Faker shouting, "The 6th one is for Doran"? Only time will tell. But if history has taught us anything, it's that you can never doubt T1.
What do you guys think about our ranking?
Let us know in the comments below. Like and subscribe for more LOL esports content, and thank you for watching Silver Scrapes.